Hi, I'm Danny. Welcome back to another video. We're having a heat wave all over the country right now. And if your AC system isn't up to the task, you're not having a good day. In today's video, I'm going to show you some simple checks you can make to hopefully get your AC system back on the road. I'm working on a 2009 Honda Civic, but most of these older Hondas, they have the same system. Let's get started. Whenever I diagnose air conditioning problems, I like to start at the control head. The reason for this, if it has codes or there's a problem with the control head, it's going to affect the cooling of your AC system. On this car, it's pretty easy. You don't even need a scan tool. All you do is hold the defrost and the recirc button and then turn on the key. Hold it until the fans come on, and then you can let go of it. Then you'll hear the blower motor. And then if there's codes, it's going to flash codes. It's going to flash the light. If there's no codes, you'll see something like this. So if there was codes, you would see it flashing a code. This is flashing code 1. It flashes once, then it pauses, and then it flashes once again. Then it pauses, and it'll continue doing this. Here's a list of the 9 codes that the control head is capable of displaying. If you're interested in watching the videos I've already created for codes 1, 2, 3, the air mix motor in codes 4, 5, the mode control motor, I'll put a link to those in the description. The next step, we need to check our airflow. We need to make sure it's going where it needs to be. So we're going to turn on the key, and then we're going to turn on the fan. And right now, it's coming out the center vents. Now, if I push the bottom, it's coming out the bottom. And then if I push the froster, it's now coming out the top. And that's how that works, and that's working properly on this car. The next thing you need to do is the hot-cold actuator, and that's located under here. So if you go from cold to hot, you can watch the actuator go from cold to hot. Then when you go to hot to cold, you'll watch the actuator go from hot to cold. This is your blend door. So what your blend door does is you have a heater core which gives you heat, and then you have the evaporator which gives you cold air. So what the blend door does, if your heater core is here, it'll switch this way, block off the cold air. If your evaporator's here, it's going to block off the heater and give you some cold air. If that's not working properly and you've got the AC on cold, but it's leaking hot air in there, your AC system could be fine. It's just that blend motor. So that's why we check that. Let's go on to our next step. I just eliminated the AC control head and the air delivery system as the problem. If you ended up with codes or your actuators didn't work, I have 2 videos on both those subjects, so make sure you check that out. We actually did this without using any special tools or a scanner. It would have been nice to hook up a scanner to see if there was any problems, but we'll do that in just a few minutes. I want to focus on the main problems. So normally if your car is driving down the road and it's just not blowing as cold as it used to when it comes to a stop, it's going to be 2 things. 1, it's going to be your fans not coming on. And 2, the most likely it's going to be that the AC system has a leak and you're a little bit low on Freon. What I like to do is check your Schrader valves, and you can do this with the engine off. So what you want to do is you want to get down here, you want to listen as you pull it off. You're listening for a noise, a little air noise, a psst sound. I just heard that. Let's try this one. Okay, this one's not leaking. This one is. So that tells you two things. It tells you, one, that the Schrader's leaking in there, and it's probably getting past this O-ring also. Here's a second O-ring on these. This is in case that Schrader leaks. So most likely it's going to be low on Freon. The other thing it tells you is you've got Freon in there. Now, if you look down here, this is the AC compressor switch. This controls the pressure, and this measures the pressure that's in the line. The pressure in your AC systems follows ambient temperature. So if I hook up a set of gauges right now on my car, it's going to read 80 psi or somewhere near there, because in this garage right now, it's 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Just because it has Freon in the system and it's reading 80 psi doesn't mean it has enough Freon in it. The only way to figure out how much Freon it has in there is to suck it out and then put the right amount in there. That pressure sensor that I just showed you, I can read the voltage on there or the PSI from a scan tool, and we're going to check that next. All right, so here's the ambient temperature in the garage right now, 92 degrees. And I've got my scan tool all hooked up. And remember I said pressure in the system and ambient temperature kind of go side to side. So it's 94 degrees pressure in the system. On here I've got my AC clutch, it's off. The pressure in the system, 94 degrees. AC pressure sensor voltage, 1.25, and then the AC switch off. So I can check the AC switch to see if it's coming on or off just by pushing the AC button. So now it says AC switch is on. So that tells me that AC switch is telling the computer to turn on them relays. And you can hear the fans on right now. So that's another thing. Whenever the AC switch is on, those fans should go on. And since we're talking about fans, let's talk about them. Whenever you turn on the AC switch from the control head, these fans should be coming on. If they aren't, you probably have no Freon in there, and that switch that I showed you earlier isn't getting the signal. It has to have pressure before it turns those fans on. Also, the relays. The relays is probably the #1 cause of the fans not coming on or the AC clutch not coming on. I have a full video on the relays, testing them and checking the fans. Also a video on the AC compressor. I'm going to put those in a link in the description. I hope you got something out of today's video. I'll put some links to scanners that I recommend in the description. Also, I talked about fans. I have some videos on diagnosing fans. I'll put those in the descriptions. I have a couple of other videos on AC systems, which I'll put in the description. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.